Hope you all are doing well. Um, there's something I wanted to speak about here this morning. Actually, if you recall my last video that I made, I was talking about like embracing depression, embracing like a negative feeling, quote unquote negative feeling, when it's coming up, and how that allows you to pass through it. And something that actually came to me shortly after I made that video, but I wanted to sit with it a little bit just to like really like feel into it and feel the truth of it and feel into whether or not it still felt true in a few days. Um, it came to me in the necessity of feeling everything. And here's what I mean by that. A lot of times when people start to go into some more like this personal development work, sitting with their feelings, sitting with their thoughts, sitting with their emotions, there's a tendency, at least I've experienced the tendency myself, and I'm sure that others have, and I see it in other people. There's a tendency to be able to sit with your emotions when they're hard. It's a great way to pass through them, to come to this place of peace. But something that I don't see people do near as often is actually sit with the feeling of happiness. Sit with the feeling of joy. Sit with the feeling of gratitude. There's a lot more of a tendency to maybe just be a lot more active. It's almost like there's a tendency to want to use those more positive states that you're in, the more good feeling things, to like start to use it to be productive, to use it to do. It's like, oh man, I got this big wave of energy. I want to go out and do this thing. Like I'm feeling so good today. I want to go out and blah. Just like do it and blow. Like there tends to be a corresponding expenditure of energy. Like, and it actually ends up, if you're not careful, it ends up being a little bit of like manic energy. Like you're feeling great about this thing. Well, it's like, I think the underlying layer of that is actually like the fear that you're going to lose this happy state of being, this joyful state that you're in. So you want to use it while you got it. And there's two things with that. It's like when either way, they're kind of leading back to the same point. When people are in this like more positive state and they want to use it, it's manic. If people are in a more negative state and they want to do things in order to make themselves feel better, then there's a manic energy to that as well. When you develop and hone the ability to be able to just sit with and be present with your emotions regardless of what you're feeling, there's an equanimity that starts to happen. There's a place of peace that you reach where it's not dependent now whether or not you're feeling good or feeling bad as to whether or not you do the things that you know are good for you to do. Objectively, you can say, this is a healthy practice for me to do for my mind, for my body, for my spirit, and then do it regardless of the emotional state that you're in, because you're able to be with your emotions, sit with them, and come to ultimately the place of peace, which is centeredness. And I see people be able to do that with their negative emotions, but to be able to come to that same place of peace and equanimity by sitting with their more positively intense emotions, and just become more acquainted with the feeling of, oh, this is what joy feels like. This is what happiness feels like. This is what ecstasy, what pleasure feels like. And to just ground and center into that feeling. To be able to do that with both of those polarities. Because what brings us to this place of peace, and that's where the actually truly effective action can come from, because that's always attainable. That's all. You can't really control whether or not you are feeling a tremendous amount of pleasure or a tremendous amount of pain. These are more, at least from my experience, circumstances that life brings us. But your ability to respond to those and come back to center continuously, that's what you have control of. That's what you can say, all right, I'm going to go into this feeling and find my place of peace, of centeredness, of groundedness. And that, I feel, is the much deeper liberation that comes through. Not dependent on outside circumstances or dependent on you going out and doing something to make yourself feel better. It's something that's always attainable by just dropping in, sitting with where you're at. I feel like I'm going to do a follow-up video on this. I might even record it right now, but I'm going to go ahead and end this video for right now. I'm trying to keep my video length down just a little bit. So thanks for tuning in today, guys. I don't have anything else. Thanks for tuning in. I appreciate you guys tuning in, and really grateful for being able to share myself in this way and have you guys all just be able to be here with me on this journey. So hope that you receive something from this, and sending you a lot of love wherever you are. Take care.